if you are a carnivore and you eat at work like I do, be prepared for judgment. Hello to everyone who is interested in my journey. Thank you for stopping by my channel and watching my video. I appreciate it. I hope it's helpful, and I'm going to be as unbiased as possible because there aren't many studies around with regards to the carnivore diet and its pros and its cons. I wanted to do the study on myself and see if I noticed any changes, any differences, and if I felt any better. Before I started on my carnivore journey, I of course did the research. I watched a lot of videos by Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Kiltz, the Steak and Butter gal, she's wonderful, and quite a few other professors and doctors like Dr. Ben Carey, and I've been doing the rounds all over YouTube. I've had a look at some written research as well on the beloved internet, and I decided to just, what have I got to lose? Why don't I just do this? Because a lot of people have reported some very positive things, especially when they've got an autoimmune disease. Like myself, I have asthma, but my main trigger are allergies from the pollens and things in the air. So in the beginning, this diet really helped with my asthma, but because of the allergies that are really, really bad, because it's currently spring, I couldn't really gauge what the carnivore diet was doing for my lungs, unfortunately. But before my allergies kicked off, I went from using my puffer twice a day to once every couple of days. So before my allergies hit, I actually was doing pretty well on the asthma front, and my chest did feel a lot better, a lot clearer, a lot stronger. And it was very instantaneous. I think it was within the first week, which was great. And I really do miss that feeling. But my allergies, yeah, it's another story entirely. So what I looked like on day 2 of my diet, I did a little video. I was still very new. I was working things out, and that's what I looked like. That was what my skin complexion looked like. And I deliberately haven't put on any makeup for this video, just just to be transparent, I guess you could say. In terms of what I ate, it was a combination of things. So I ate steak, a lot of steak. I ate butter, recently started adding more pork fat and lard to my diet, and I find that I'm a lot more, I feel a lot better when I incorporated more fat. I think in the beginning I was eating way too lean, and apparently a lot of people make this mistake, and I tried not to. I would have like 50 grams of butter with my meal, but I wasn't having enough fat. So that was the downside. But I'd have a lot of steak, a lot of eggs. I switched to chicken a little bit as well, just to make it a bit more cost effective for myself. And I would have like a little glass of milk here and there because it was really refreshing to drink after a fatty meal. It was actually perfect. And in the last couple of days, I've been having a lot of cheese. So I've been eating those things. I haven't really had any fish or pork or lamb. But I do really want to try that and switch it up a bit. And lamb is also cheaper, my neck of the woods as well. So I really want to give that a shot and see if it's any better, because lamb is classified as red meat as well. I did start off eating kangaroo. Again, that was very, very lean, and I was having a lot of problems, I'd say. I just wasn't feeling very nourished, and my body was like, no, give me more. And so I kept doing research, and I thought, exactly how much fat are you supposed to have with your protein ratio? And I looked it up, and it was something like 50 to 70%. And I thought, okay, there's no way I'm having enough. And when I started having more, not only was I feeling a lot better, a lot more satiated, I was feeling a lot, it was just great. It was a really great feeling. And it didn't take too long to get used to the taste of the fat either. It was actually quite nice. Put a little bit of salt in there, it was nice. And I've been having a lot of salted water, a lot. This stuff is lovely. Apparently pink Himalayan salt has about 76 minerals in it. I've also been watching a lot of Barbara O'Neill, and she said that Celtic salt is actually ideal because it has about 120 minerals, say. But this is the next best thing if it's all you can find. And I would just pop it in my water. Strength, of course, to taste. But this has been my godsend. When I feel a cramp coming on, I have more salt water and then I'm fine. So I did get used to drinking a lot more salt water throughout the day, and now I actually love it. I don't like drinking plain water. And with coffee as well, I haven't needed it. I haven't needed coffee to get that buzz because I don't need it. I feel naturally energetic, but I do love the taste and I do miss it. So what I started to do was using decaf coffee, and sometimes caffeinated coffee to help the bowels move when I started to get a bit of constipation. That was fun. But I started using caffeinated coffee for that reason only, because it does help with moving your bowels. And then when that passed, I switched back to decaf coffee, and I was putting butter in it and having bulletproof coffee. And I also can't have coffee without salt now. I find it very bland and very yuck. So I actually add salt to my decaf coffee with my butter now. So I usually have bulletproof coffee for my breakfast in the morning, and then I'll have my actual meal at midday. But I've only been doing that regime for the last week or so. My meals were, I went from 2 meals a day, because that's all I could stomach, to 1 meal a day because I thought I would try fasting, and I'll get to that. But I've managed the fasting thus far, eating at midday and then having your first coffee at like 6, just for another meal itself. And I can't tell if it's what I prefer yet. It's still very, very early days. But the reason why I tried fasting is because a lot of experienced carnivores have been doing this for years, and they're actually at the point where they can fast, where it's not a detriment to their body. But because I was vegan, then vegetarian, then highly addicted to carbs and sugar, my body is still oxalate dumping, and I go through highs and lows of joint pain and headaches and muscle soreness and things like that. So my body is still needing nourishment, and the term that the Steak and Butter Gal uses is oxalate dumping. And whilst you're doing that, you can't really be fasting. That's just, not a good idea apparently. And that you just have to nourish your body and things like that. So over the next 30 days, that is what I will be doing. I will just be focusing on nourishing my body, making it well again, making it feel safe, and then breaking into the fasting, which should only really happen about 6 months to 10 months down the track. And the mixture of foods I find has been great. My body hasn't reacted to anything badly at all, except chicken. If I don't have a lot of fat with chicken, because it is a bit leaner, then I have problems as well. But if I have enough fat, I digest the chicken no problem. No discomfort, no pain, nothing. So, and steak I find has been the easiest to digest. You know, I always stayed away from red meat because I thought I couldn't digest it. But every time I went out for a steak, it was just the oils and the sauces and the chips that I would have with it, and of course the vegetables, that would make my digestive system a bit ugh. But steak on its own with fat and butter and salt and eggs. Really, really good. So I've been enjoying that. I don't have a lot of milk. I have it as like a bit of a treat every Friday, because it really is for babies. Adults don't really need it. But it is a lovely, fresh, cool taste when you've had a fatty meal, and I really enjoy it. So I will continue having that as a little treat. Maybe once or twice a week. We'll see. The changes that I noticed. Firstly, I'm going to tell you something that no one prepared me for. Everyone's body is different, and everyone handles the change of this lifestyle differently. So a lot of men said that they lost quite a bit of weight in the early days, right? But I've heard a lot of women put it on, right? And I was not prepared for that. I was not informed about that. I didn't know that this actually happens with women most of the time anyway. And I haven't necessarily put on weight, but I haven't lost any. I haven't lost any weight. Not that I can see, right? If anything, I've been maintaining a very steady 69 kilos for 30 days. And of course it fluctuates by a couple 100 grams every now and then. But I've lost zilch. I've lost no weight. And it's news to me, but it kind of isn't, because it's only been 30 days, guys. And I wasn't expecting a drastic shedding of weight, because for me, that's not healthy in my view, just based on how I know my body and what I know my body is like. I know its pattern. When I start losing fat, it'll go in my face first, and then, the rest of my body tends to follow, right? But I also read that you're not supposed to do any strenuous exercise when you're cutting carbs and sugar out of your diet, because you'll suffer. You'll get fatigued, you'll be very groggy, you'll be very sluggish, and you'll have no energy. So I haven't done that. I've abstained from strenuous exercise. I've just been going on like 45-minute walks every morning, and I haven't lost weight with that. And usually I would have, because although they weren't strenuous, they were fast-paced, and there have been very warm days. So I feel like I've been burning quite a few calories in the mornings. So yeah, I haven't lost any weight, and I haven't gained any. It's weird for me. It's very strange. I did feel carbohydrate and sugar withdrawals. It came in waves. I was on the cusp of getting the keto flu, and I think I might still be on the cusp of getting the keto flu. I get an itchy throat. And just the other day I had a really bad headache and bad body aches and pains, and it was just shit. So I thought I was coming down with the keto flu then, but nothing eventuated from that. Sometimes I feel my glands not swell, but they react a little bit, and I think that that's just my body detoxing everything. And it's strange. It's been a very interesting process, but I didn't want to do this just for a fad. So I wanted to stay away from the scales, because I knew that it would work differently. I just didn't know how. I didn't know if I would just drop all the fat in a couple of weeks, or if it would stay there, and it's just it's a marathon, not a sprint, basically. But the positives, I feel great. I have a lot of energy. I don't need caffeine. I have a whole bunch of sports supplements in the fridge that I don't use anymore, don't need. The other thing about the sports supplements is that I had an addiction to them. I thought that they would fix everything, because when you approach a supplement shop, that's kind of the mentality they leave you with. It's like, well, you can move your ass and stuff, but these all fix your problem. They leave you with that mindset, and it's really, really bad, in my opinion. And it's very unfortunate, because you make friends with these people, and you become one of their best customers, and then when you're eating one of their best quality proteins and it starts making you feel sick, that's when you got to start asking questions, because I used to have on whey protein. It's one of the most expensive and best quality whey proteins you can find on the supplemental market. And I started to feel really sick. And it's weird because I've been having these supplements for years, but I think that's the problem. I think I was having them for so long and having them so constantly. I was having 2 protein shakes a day, sometimes 3. And I think my body was just like, whoa, I think you've had enough, babe. And now I can't have whey protein supplements anymore. Not because I don't really want to, but because I can't. After being on carnivore, I don't want to cave to any temptation. I don't want to have this stuff, which actually isn't very natural, and feel sick. To me, that's not worth it, because I feel the best I've ever felt. I can go to sleep, I can wake up, and when I wake up, I'm up. I'm not, especially if I don't have coffee in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go, I'm set, I'm wide awake. Beforehand, geez, I was a zombie. And I've been a lot more active and a lot more proactive in terms of doing stuff just around the place. Like, I'd literally find something to clean, something to do. I've become a lot more wanting to do things around my home. Every time I was like, oh God, I don't want to do that. But I'm always in the garden now. I always want to do stuff outside. It's really changed my mindset, if you will. There's no depression or anxiety about doing housework. There's no, oh, I don't want to do it, I'll do it later. I don't want to procrastinate. I don't want to postpone anything. I want to get it done. And I thought that it was the placebo effect, so I thought, I'll give it a couple of days. But no, I would sit there on the couch, and after a meal, I would just want to get up and do stuff. Not immediately after being satiated, because that's not great. But as soon as my stomach felt settled after I'd eaten, I just wanted to get up and go. It's been really instrumental in giving me the energy to actually want to do stuff around my house, and not feeling like it's a chore, I guess you could say, even though it is. But I still feel better about doing it. And I'm a lot more proactive in the mornings. I'm a lot more proactive at work. It's just been great for my mindset. I feel fresher. I feel like I'm buzzing. Like, I feel really intense focus. I feel great. I feel really great. I can have clear thought processes. I can string my sentences together a little bit well, even though I say a bit. But I feel great. And I think another positive, it has been a bit pricey, because a lot of the foods that aren't that great for you are cheaper for you. Let's be honest. All the canned stuff, all the vegetables that are on sale. There was a lot of broccoli on sale, because I live in an area where people just generally don't eat a lot of vegetables, which I find quite funny and ironic. But I found out that broccoli isn't even a natural plant. It's hybridized from cabbage. And that broke my heart. And it made me wonder, well, I ate a lot of broccoli and I always had difficulty in my stomach. And I thought, okay, broccoli may have been a culprit. But I certainly know that when I feel full after eating a meal nowadays, it's a very different kind of full. It's when I was eating carbohydrates and vegetables, the kind of full I felt was like barely being able to breathe kind of full. Like, it would be up here. It would be up here on the left of my chest, and I would feel so full. I'd have to breathe like this. And I would feel absolutely stuffed, but it was a stuffed where you'd feel sick. And I hate wasting food. So the kind of food I was eating, I felt stuffed, but I could keep going because I didn't want to waste it. I could fit it in. Even though I knew it would probably make me sick, I ate it anyway. But when I'm eating meat and fat and butter and salt, if I don't want any more, if I'm done, I'm done. There is no way I can fit another morsel in there. I just cannot. Because what happens with the fat and the salt, I've noticed, is that when you feel full, you actually feel a bit sickened if you eat anything else. It's very different. It's very interesting. It's a very different kind of full when you've eaten a lot of steak and you can't eat anymore. You're very satiated. It puts you off. Even the smell of the fat that would absolutely drive you beautifully manic beforehand, you don't want any of it the next. And I love how it works that way. I love that I don't spend my days thinking about food and carbs and sugar. I love that I don't have cravings anymore. I did have really bad sugar cravings last week, but it's died down ever since then. Like this whole week, I haven't had any cravings for any carbs, any sugars. And I didn't cave on this change once, which I'm really quite happy with and quite proud of. And it's just been great. You know, my joint pain, that has gone away. I used to get really bad pain in my knees because I was in a motorcycle crash years ago, and it's just always been a bit of a shit. Same with my hip. I actually used to have a bit of hip problems because of the crash. That's gone as well. It's actually quite magical. Now I have made a deal with myself not to look at the scales anymore, because the scales, they're not an accurate representation of what your body is going through internally, right? And I was watching an interview that the Steak and Butter Gal was doing with the Baroness of Beef, and she comes from a bodybuilding background. She's a really fit woman and she looks incredible, lovely lady. And she was absolutely spot on when she said the scales aren't accurate with what's going on internally. It really isn't, especially if I've been eating so much meat and so much fat for the past at least 3 weeks into my 30-day diet, and I've been sustaining at 69 this entire time. It's actually unheard of for me. That has never happened to me before. I've never really been on a maintenance like this before. You know, usually I would lose it really drastically or put it on very quickly. There was never an in-between. So this is very different for me. So I'm just going to stop weighing myself and just let the process happen. But yeah, again, better skin complexion. I don't know if you can notice from the first video that I did. Better skin complexion. The bags under my eyes are actually pretty much completely gone. And I got up like half an hour ago so that this video could be as natural as possible for you guys. So yeah, no bags, clearer skin. I don't lose my hair. Actually, my hair would constantly fall out during a shower, but it doesn't happen anymore. I don't lose my hair. My hair feels better, feels healthier as well. My teeth are very, very different already. I don't have as much plaque build up anymore. I've actually noticed little bits of plaque falling away. It's actually quite interesting, very incredible. I still brush my teeth, that's still important, but I don't have as much plaque as what I remember having, because I am definitely due for the dentist. So the cons, it is a bit expensive, so you just have to budget accordingly. If you can't afford steak for the 1 week, just get chicken and more fat. With the eggs, same deal. Eggs, I find, have been instrumental in this diet. They've really, my body responds to them really well. I've always loved eggs. I've always enjoyed eggs, so I'll never stop that. But yeah, it can be pricey, so just try your best to stay on top of your budget. It does help, and it also, you know, helps you try new things as well. And I guess the other con is that if you are a carnivore and you eat at work like I do, be prepared for judgment. Be prepared for your colleagues and your boss to judge you 2 ways to Sunday, because they will. It is very alien to them, just like it was alien to you at the beginning. They will not understand. They will look at you like they are really worried about your cholesterol. But I plan to get a blood test after day 60. So today is my day 30 and I feel great. I feel fantastic, guys. I can't stress that enough. And for the first time, I'm enjoying my food. I'm enjoying what I'm eating. I'm enjoying not counting calories. I'm enjoying not restricting myself. That's what I'm enjoying. And I'm trying to be as impartial about this as I can. I am loving this. I'm loving it so much. I'm enjoying it. I stayed away from meat for years because I thought it was just so terrible for you. But this is the best I've felt in such a long time, minus the allergies. You know, I don't have any discomfort in my tummy unless it's the adjusting to the new diet thing. Because there is explosive diarrhea and there is constipation. It's a mixture of both, but it's your body adjusting. So stick with it. I'm really glad I did. I'm very glad I stuck with it. I'm sure there are a few more hurdles to go down the track, which I'm absolutely open to the challenge. And, you know, I feel amazing. My face, they say, I think it was, who was it? It wasn't Dr. Ken Berry. It was another, I think it was Dr. Kerr. Yes, Dr. Kerr. He's very pro keto, but he has done a lot of research on sugar and starches. And when you quit sugar, your face actually becomes a lot less round. And my face is a lot less round than what it was when I first started this. I loved sugar, and sugar was in everything. You just don't realize how much sugar is in so much food. It's ridiculous. And I've cut the sugar and I feel fantastic. I can see my collarbones. I've got a more distinct jawline, right? And my face is just far less round. It's this diet, there's no way that this diet can be bad for you, because I've noticed so many positives already and very early. You know, this diet isn't just about trying to drop a few pounds. It's about living well. That's the point of it. That's why I'm no longer looking at the scales. In the beginning, I didn't want losing weight to be the main factor of this, because if I don't see any kilos drop, it might deter me. So I don't want to do that. But I feel great. I feel great. And huge props to Dr. Anthony Chaffee, because he's the main reason I started doing this, along with a lot of other doctors and professors as well, who've actually done the research and actually have the resources and the means to put this information out there and actually educate us. It's been eye-opening, and you know, it's gonna take a while to get out of the habit of saying, oh, well, I feel like I've eaten a lot, I should stop. No. You stop when you're nourished. You stop when your body's like, okay, I'm good. And again, please consider the fact that you won't drop pounds straight away. A lot of people, when they first started, some of them did, like Joe Rogan. You know, he dropped it very quickly. But I think women are made up differently. We're a different biology or something. I don't know. But I certainly haven't dropped any weight as yet. But we'll see what happens in the next 30 days. It's been a kick-ass 30 days so far. Stick with it. And if you get cravings, so what? Man up. Harden the fuck up, because I tell you what, I seriously doubt that after this elimination diet, I'm going to go back to eating sugars and carbs, because one, I'll feel really shit and I will have let myself down, and two, I don't need it. Society says we need it, especially with Christmas just around the corner. Christmas cakes, Christmas desserts, alcohol, lollies, sweets. Society and community nowadays think that sugar is a part of a Christmas celebration. But you know what I think of when I think Christmas celebration? I think fatty, watery pork. I think fattery, buttery crackling. I think gorgeous beef. I think gorgeous chicken. I think of every meat I can in the book that I just can't wait to sink my teeth into, because I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to eat all this meat and this fat that I haven't been able to touch for so long. And it feels great. And I'm South African. I love biltong. I love me some biltong. And I always felt guilty for eating it. And now I don't have to. So yeah, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it was as unbiased as possible. It's just my experience. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying that this is what I've experienced while I have been doing it. And I really can't wait to keep doing it and seeing how well my body can become after such early results. So yeah, feeling good. And thank you for watching the video. Again, hope you found it helpful, and please hit subscribe, hit the like button if you liked what you saw, and I'll keep you posted on my journey. Bye.